GM Fox fam, good to have you with us. I'm gonna kick Lo-Fi Girl. I was waiting for a nice fade out, but it doesn't sound like that's happening anytime soon. So, boom, we're just booting her. GM, it's good to have everyone with us for this weekly op sprint. If you are a work stream leader, feel free to raise your hand if you can't hop on the stage yourself. If this is your first time joining us, you can follow along with all of our slides over in the stage chat. There's a Zoom link there where you can watch along everything as we do our updates. And now we're going to get started. Do we have a support person out there? Looks like Mogi's in the audience. I'm give him an invitation. Hop on up here. Oh, Donna. Donna's the one doing it. Mogi, you can ignore that one. Hey, Donna, GM. Welcome to the weekly op sprint.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and belated happy Thanksgiving to everyone that's celebrating it. First up for the support updates, the redesign of the help desk proposal passed, and we are now in the process of setting up interviews with potential candidates for the job. So please reach out to Mogi for more information if you know anybody that's interested in helping us out with this. For the ticket volume, we had 345 new tickets this week. This is a 4% decrease from the past week's report and an 11% decrease for the past 8-week average. Resolution time is currently still up at 14 days. It's taking a little bit of time to resolve a few issues, but not seeing any blockers affecting a huge amount of users of late. If we see any, we'll make sure to get that reported immediately. First reply time is at 48 minutes. One touch tickets is at 60%. Total solved tickets is at 415. This is a 12% decrease from the past week's report due to lesser traffic and new tickets this week. We'd also like to remind everybody that the support community call is on December 8th, 3 p.m. MST, and we'd love to see you guys there. Thanks, and that's all for me.
Thanks, Donna. GM, I'm excited for that call. I'm excited to see all the support team up there. So, really happy you guys finally got that in the books. All right, I will move on down the list. Looks like we don't have any updates from Unified Globalization. I know that LPX is on a completely different calendar than us, and some people are getting slow back from our turkey holidays, so we'll give a pass on that one, and we will move right on down to marketing and growth. What up, Bitcoin?
Hello, GM everybody. Can you hear me, Tyler?
I can't. You don't sound like a robot.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I double checked the settings. GM, yes, and happy belated Turkey Day to everybody. Quick reminder that today starts a new format of marketing and growth meetings. It's happening at 11:30 Mountain Time or 12:30, sorry, Mountain Time, and they are moving to a more office hours format. So hope to see you guys there. So this week for marketing growth, we are continuing Reddit development, adding content from Arena's squad, and continuing to create a strategy moving forward. I'm sure you guys saw that Hunt finally announced that Ethan and the community growth community growth squad has taken possession of Reddit and has started uploading content, and we're going to start building a community there. We are doing the same thing in Telegram, opening up Telegram, and we are driving users from Telegram to Discord with regular posts. And that's really what we're going to be doing overall with all of these channels. Is each channel is going to be trying to develop its own voice and its own community, but ultimately trying to drive back to the Discord and to the Fox Den here. Continuing to develop cross-community relationships and marketing material. So that's for Elk, Toke, GigaChad, and a couple of other ones. Come to the marketing office hours today at 12:30 Mountain Standard Time to hear more. We have now another content creation team. This is a huge shout out to Hunt and Arena for partnering to get this done. So Arena has built out a team of contributors working together for bounties to do English content. And what has happened in the past week with Hunt is that he has found through the Smith a group of LATAM contributors that we are calling LATAM Labs. More info at the marketing office hours, but really excited to continue that. We are just going to continue developing that strategy. And then we are going to continue to look for and finding opportunities for cross-community marketing efforts.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete Coyne. Sounds like you guys are really up to a lot of stuff all over the place there. Super awesome to see the contributions from new workstream contributors and ones that have been elevated. It's great to see you guys down it.
Thank you. Yeah, and really comes down to awesome bounty hunters, real entrepreneurial spirits. They basically made the jobs for themselves. And so big shout out to Ethan, Arena, the Smith, the LATAM Labs people, Rohek Benitez, Shocks, Gray Machine for helping us put it all together. You know, it takes a village, and this community is amazing and has helped us achieve so much.
Well, thank you for steering that ship, sir. It's much appreciated. And Fox props to all you on that work stream. All right, moving on down the list. GK said you were going to be out, but I see a GK on the stage.
Yeah, GK's out until 2. I'll just do it instead. Proposal passed. I took a 4-hour vacation this morning. That's why I was not expected to be here. The event calendar, if some people have noticed, I'm sure, as I'm taking it out of general and moving it into the event calendar. It's automatically refreshes when something new is posted, so it should always stay there and it should be up to date. Obviously, this next month it'll be a little messy while it shifts over. I'm testing the new bot. Somebody is actually doing most of the heavy lifting for me. I'm trying to work with them. We worked several hours late one night, and hopefully it's going to get past the inspection part. Then we can release it to the usage. I'm working on partner rooms. I'm trying to rearrange those because we actually hit a hard cap. 50 is a hard cap for the partner rooms. So basically, I'm going to spread those out a little bit in different ways. The Reddit and TG, I actually installed a couple bots on Telegram. Try to let that be open up a little bit. I think I just heard that it's going to be soon. And then webhooks. Once I get some special privileges, I can actually start adding it so that when you post in Reddit or TG, it'll have a channel in Discord. And that's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, GK, for stepping in for GK while he's out. Product. Let's keep on rolling.
GM, everybody. So I'm working on a new proposal to fund the work stream. The current one ends December 31st, so hopefully that'll go up on the forum this week. And Gray Machine's proposal passed, so we now have a creative services squad on the product work stream, which is super exciting. And Gray Machine will be leading that squad as the creative services director. We are starting on some early UX and discovery for displayed DeFi positions across multiple protocols and borrowing and lending, in addition to a bunch of other things. But those are ones I just wanted to call out because those are more robust and require a bit more of a discovery. And then on Juno, we've been syncing up with their team. Noah's spearheading that. There's some technical details they need to give us. And then once we have those pieces from them, we'll be moving forward. And then I want to get the workstream set up on Sobel, which is a tool I'm sure some of you are already familiar with that allows people to kind of see who's on what work streams and what their roles are and what their Discord handles are and information like that. It's super useful. And then planning to move the analytics on Alpha proposal from the forum into Snapshot. Mr. Nerdhair is doing his final analysis of Pendo this week. Hopefully by like Wednesday or Thursday, we should be able to move that into Snapshot. Thanks.
Thank you, Diggy, and GM, back to you as well. All right. Josh is up on stage. GM, Josh.
GM, everybody. Okay, so this week we're working to get our ThorChain node, our internal ThorChain node synced so that we can turn ThorChain trading back on Betadot. it's been finicky, and we started a resync. They provided a snapshot. Nine Realms provided a snapshot, and we just could not get that thing to go. We had a little bit of foresight, and last week on Wednesday, we kicked off just a sync from scratch, running the new version. We're hoping that's done in the next day or two, and then that will work, and we can turn trades back on. We have an open source retro this week, Wednesday, from 2 to 5. That'll be in the general channel. So that's we've had a tradition at ShapeShift after bigger releases that we do a retro to look at what went well, what didn't go well, what we can learn. I think this one's going to be really ripe with some learnings. But it's going to start in August when we started building the open source retro. All retros start with a time frame. The time frame will be from August until go live on November 18th. So that should be fun. Please join us if you care. I think we're going to wind up canceling the demos on Wednesday morning. I'm not certain about that, but I'll post about that in general. And then we're doing some designing and planning. That's one of the things, actually, we've already had many conversations within engineering. But one of the things that I think we're going to see become really explicitly clear from Wednesday is we need to do some more upfront technical design and planning with senior engineer oversight before we start pieces of work. So to that end, we are starting designing and planning for the Unchained simplification. We originally built Unchained when it was going to be a centralized service, and it's to be able to get things out with it. We did not simplify it yet. So we're going to look at that, and we're also going to look at building our market data service, so the prices that come in on Web v2 can come from more than one source. And we have some performance fixes in v2 that are under review. You notice v2 does load a little slowly, so that will help, and continuing with some bug fixes and cleanup. That's us.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Josh. Let's keep the ball rolling. Security, you're up next.
Hey guys, top priority this week is the Pendo and Urine reviews. I also have an RDP proposal that I have totally been punting down the road, and I need to get on that. In Web v2 related news, I have some web worker stuff to do if I have time at the end of the week to make everything faster. But that's not top priority this week.
Awesome. Mr. Nerdhair, if you need some help getting that proposal drafted, operations would be happy to help you scribe some of that stuff, or else I also know this has been super helpful in doing that with GK as well. So if there's anything...
I appreciate the offer over Thanksgiving. You know, I was sort of looking at the rest of the calendar for the year, and I'm like, oh crap, we got to get this sorted before the beginning of the year.
So yeah, feel free to DM us or ping us in operations public chat, and we'll get you the resources that you need to make sure we can get it across the finish line. All right, and then that brings us over to my updates with operations. We're continuing training with Ron and Neverwas on the job with all things in triage and through testing. And now our entire operations workstream is able to write GitHub issues. We've moved out of Combinize from the centralized ticket repo, and now we're using GitHub, and now our workstream will be able to take that part of the responsibility away from product, or at least right alongside with them, and hopefully this will continue to streamline our triage process. The triage report that came out this week, we had 4 issues, a 50% decrease, 1 prod issue, and 2 alpha tickets. That's kind of to be expected with the holiday weekend and also the push of V2. I'm going to be working with GK to get the POAPs up and running this week, and we're going to start small and really just try and make sure that we nail this governance call one. And once we've got our processes honed in and we can trust that the POAPs we make will be valid from the POAP team, we will open this up to more and more of our calls that we used to have POAPs at that we still deem POAP worthy. And on that note, the governance call that's going to happen this week will be from last week and this week. It's going to be a big old governance call with a whole bunch of proposals that passed, a proposal that got removed from Snapshot due to skipping the process. So lots of steamy, juicy stuff that we'll be getting into. So please join us later on this week on Thursday. Our team's going to continue testing on V2 and writing alpha tickets when we find them, and we are ready and available for Thor testing once that goes live and our nodes are synced. And then also to reiterate what Josh said earlier, our whole team will be attending the open source retro on Wednesday. That's going to be from 2 to 5 Mountain Time. And we have DAOFIS hours later this week as well. So that's the updates from operations. And looks like Kent just jumped on stage. GM Kent.
Good day to you, good sir. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. I had a vegan Thanksgiving, so I'm not as tired as the rest of you.
Less turkey comas then.
Exactly.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So let's talk tokenomics. I'm really excited to report that we now have an official tokenomics work stream. This was following the successful vote on the proposal to create and fund the work stream as of last week. So what that means is, now we have, like a lot of progress has happened on a ad hoc basis, but now we have an actual work stream. We have funds that we can use on various things, whether it's things like, developing dashboards to see where we stand with our treasury, to having people work on managing our positions and maintaining positions across DeFi and everything that falls under this wonderful broad umbrella. So thank you all for your support on this, and really looking forward to jumping in with both feet. A few other updates here. So we had our $50,000 silo investment go through last week. This was a really kind of a fun opportunity, and one that was time sensitive, but essentially it was kind of almost like a quasi seed round, investing in this newer project. Higher risk, higher reward. One of the things that was cool about it is it was the first instance of the Treasury Management and Diversification Committee really jumping into action and deliberating over a time-sensitive opportunity. Process-wise, there's probably some room for improvement, especially in terms of how the votes are sort of, or I should say the committee votes are recorded and really made easy to find. We want to be very transparent. Props to M. Perklin and Willie also, they're the multi-sig signers, and it was a little bit tricky for them to find all the votes. So, we have a few wrinkles to iron out, but that was really cool. And it's also nice to invest in a very early stage into a project that could, really do quite well. On the Tokenomics side of things, we also completed a Fox for Toke swap late last week. This means that all the ducks are in a row for imminent Fox Tokenomics reactor activation, and this will be really cool to see. The actual Fox reactor up there. It sounds like it's imminent. It could be like Tuesday-ish, maybe Wednesday, but be on the lookout for that. In other news, we are switching payrolls from Fox to Stables, and this will be happening in December. So the next payroll, I think this makes a lot of sense because logistically it's difficult to send out payrolls when Fox can be so volatile, and as we've seen, it can be have wild fluctuations. Hopefully more to the upside, but this makes it hard to or more difficult to issue payroll, especially when it moves down, and then we have to issue like sort of extra Fox based on that. So no more worries with that once we go Stables. And of course, if you want Fox exposure, it's relatively simple to swap that over to Fox. One of the things that will be required, of course, is that we need to be converting Fox to stablecoin for payroll. So this will be coming up pretty fast. And then also separate from that, we need to have stable coins on our balance sheet. In my mind, this is like the number one priority we need to look at right now, because things are doing pretty well in the market, and especially with Fox, we're relatively high compared to where we've been. It strikes me as a very good time to diversify into stables. As we saw with this COVID variant thing, yeah, it was kind of a ridiculous overreaction, but there's a lot of risks out there, both in terms of market cycle and with the macro. So it's important that we have stablecoin diversification. The key questions here are, how much stables should we have? How do we achieve that exposure? I'm giving that some thought, and I know everybody else on the Treasury Management Committee is as well. So that's kind of the big picture with tokenomics. As a reminder, we have our weekly meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock Mountain. And these deliberations are always transparent, and would love to hear your perspectives and thoughts out there in the community as we dig into this side of things. And that's about it for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kent. And yeah, there was a question posted just here in the stage chat as well, but it might be good for you to respond in audio for those that might be on Twitch. That was a question about whether these Swish USDC would be on mainnet or on XDAI.
Willie, you could probably speak to that more aptly, given that you're more familiar with our current process.
Yeah, I was just posting in the stage chat. So right now, as long as we're using Colony, all the payments to contributors do happen on XDAI. So the way this has been working in the past is we do one transfer per month from the DAO Treasury on mainnet through the Omni bridge to the Colony on XDAI of Fox tokens. If we choose to pay in stables going forward, which is looking pretty likely, it makes a lot of sense in my opinion, then we'll just do 2 transfers. So we'll send some stable and we'll send some Fox, depending on what percent each contributor would like to request. On that note too, workstream leaders are testing out a tool called Sobel, which is kind of like a organizational structure diagram. Basically will give us the ability for every contributor to go fill out a profile. And in their profile, they can put their Discord handle, their name, a link to their Calendly if they want to be available for people to book appointments, a link to their shared Google Calendar so that if anyone wants to schedule with them, they can see their availability. And one of the fields in there is what percent of your payment you'd like to receive in Fox. So contributors will have the ability to opt into any percent of their salary or their payment that they would like to receive in Fox. But the default, kind of how we're currently envisioning it, will be stable coins. Another thing to consider too, once we do have some stable coins, is potentially paying out with 1 Fox on XDAI. Once the DAO does have some stables, let's say we get some USDC, let's say we get $2 million of USDC, we could take that $2 million of USDC and along with $400,000 of Fox and turn it into $2.4 million of 1 Fox. So something to consider whether which stable coin we decide to actually do the payments in.
Awesome. Thanks for the color on that, Willie and Kent. Super excited to see us making some moves where we're not going to be creating so much sell pressure on Fox, hopefully. So thank you all. I'll leave the stage open for 1 second. If someone else has any last additions or updates they want to make, post them there. And if not, I'm bringing on Lo-Fi Girl, and we'll make it a good GM. All right, sounds like it. We'll have a good GM, folks, and we'll see you throughout the week.
Being active and doing things is that I think it's quite possible to do all sorts of things and at the same time be completely dead inside. I mean, you're doing all these things, but are you doing them because you really feel an impulse to do them? Or are you doing them mechanically, as we were saying before? do believe that if you're just living